Have you ever thought about the most painful moments in your life? I mean, really thought about them? What if those moments, the ones that you wish never happened, could actually be the source of your greatest strength? Well, today we're diving into the incredible story of Tony Robbins and how a childhood that was just filled with pain became the fuel for a global mission. This right here, this is the raw emotional core of it all. It's not some clever business strategy or a marketing tagline. Nope. It's a deeply personal mission that was born from his own experience. This one feeling is the engine behind absolutely everything he does. So that brings us to the big question, right? The one Robbins himself asks all the time. How in the world can you turn your worst day into your best day? It sounds kind of impossible, but his own life story, well, it gives us a pretty powerful roadmap. Okay, so to really get what drives him, we've got to go back, way back. Let's take a look at the environment that shaped him, which, let me tell you, was anything but easy. He grew up in a world of just constant chaos and, well, not having enough. I mean, 4 different fathers. His mother, who he says he loved, also had major struggles with alcohol and prescription drugs and would sometimes get violent. The family was poor, so poor, that there often wasn't any food. They literally lived on the other side of the tracks, feeling looked down on. You know, an environment like that could have easily broken someone. But then, one single event on one very specific holiday completely changed the entire course of his life. And it wasn't a lottery win or some lucky break. Nope. It was just a simple knock on the door. So try to picture this scene. It's Thanksgiving. His parents are screaming at each other. His dad had just lost his job. The holiday that's supposed to be all about abundance is, for them, a huge, glaring reminder of everything they don't have. Imagine you're a little kid in that situation. You're hungry, your family is falling apart around you, and then this unexpected sound just cuts right through all that tension. He heads to the door, with all the curiosity and maybe even a little bit of hope that a kid has. And when he opens it, there's this tall man standing there with bags of groceries and a big old turkey. For young Tony, it was like a miracle. Food, plenty of it. A solution literally delivered right to their front door. But his father's reaction was the complete opposite. Instead of relief, all he felt was shame. He didn't see this act of kindness as a gift. He saw it as proof that he'd failed to provide for his family. And he slams the door in the man's face. And this is the line that changes everything. The stranger doesn't just give up and walk away. He looks right past the father's pride and points to what's really happening here. His family is suffering. That one single sentence forces this powerful showdown between a man's ego and his family's needs. Now, this is where we get to the core lesson of this whole thing. It's fascinating. You have 2 people, a father and a son, living through the exact same event, but they come away with 2 completely, totally different stories about what it all meant. Just look at this contrast. It's night and day, right? For his father, the story he told himself was all about his own failure and how he was worthless. But for Tony, it was about generosity and possibility. He saw proof that strangers cared, a belief that went against pretty much everything he'd experienced up to that point. So this single experience led Robbins to create this incredibly powerful framework. He says that in any moment, we're always making 3 decisions. First, what are you going to focus on? His dad focused on his failure. Tony focused on the food. Second, what does it mean? His dad decided it meant he was worthless. Tony decided it meant people are good. And third, what are you going to do about it? And this is where it all clicks into place. That meaning you choose, well, that becomes your belief. It's the story you repeat to yourself over and over until it becomes this invisible force that directs your entire life. His father's story of worthlessness controlled him. Tony's story of generosity, well, that would go on to control him in a profoundly different way. So here's the crucial part. This new story, this new belief he had, it wasn't just some nice thought he had one day. No way. It translated into massive, life-altering action. I mean, just look at this timeline. It shows you the incredible power of one single decision compounded over time. At 17 years old, he decided to pay it forward and fed 2 families himself. The next year, it was 4, and it just kept growing, all sprouting from that one tiny seed of generosity planted on his worst Thanksgiving. Let that number really sink in for a second. 1 billion meals. A mission on that scale seems absolutely impossible, right? But when you trace it all the way back, it all started with one boy, one Thanksgiving, and one simple decision to believe that strangers care. So, what's the big takeaway for us here? Because this isn't just a fascinating story about Tony Robbins, it's really a template for our own lives, for our own transformation. And here it is, in his own words. The power isn't in changing the events of our past. We can't do that. The real power is in changing the story we tell ourselves about those events. We are the authors. We get to decide what the difficult chapters of our lives are truly going to mean. So I'll just leave you with this thought. That day of hunger and fighting and shame was Tony's worst day. But as he says, it also became his best day because it gave him his life's mission. So what about you? What painful memory? What struggle? What worst day of yours might you be able to rewrite into the origin story of your greatest purpose?